Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is show you how to take the pieces that you need for your website from Photoshop in order to build your website in Dreamweaver using HTML and CSS. So the three pieces that I want to take over as images, the first one is I'm actually just going to take this as the header with the word coffee corner and this shape. Now, I could have built this shape with HTML and CSS, but I'm just going to take it out as an image. I also am going to take this brush stroke. I will use actual font to build the menu bar, so I'm not going to worry about that. And I'm going to take this piece of paper for my website. Now, what I need to do is I need to record the color information, and I will build the color information inside of Dreamweaver. So let's begin by getting the color information. I grab my eyedropper, I click onto the color, I double click, I write down the color number. This orangey, this pastel orange color is FFCC99. I come to my next color. I use my eyedropper. My light pastel blue is 99CCCC. I come to the color of my font, and the color of my font is 330000. I have all of that information written down. Excellent. I'm going to hit cancel, and there we have it. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take three images out of this site. Image one, I'm going to grab my move tool, the header. I want to take the nav bar, but again, I'm not going to take the font. I'm going to build that by actually using font inside of Dreamweaver. And I want this piece of paper. The background with the color and the footer, I will just build. I'll just build it. Okay, now I could get some info too. What's the size of this shape? I can get a sense of the size of this shape. And I would do that by clicking it, selecting it, and then coming and grabbing our shape tool. And I can see that this is 1924 by 117. Now it doesn't need to be exact, but it's a good idea to have it a little bit close. Okay, so now I want to get these images out and put them where they need to be. What I've done is I've actually created a folder, and you need to make a folder where you're going to put all of these pieces for your website. So here goes. And the place where I've created these images, I can come on in and I've put it on my hard drive, right? So it's best to not put it on an external drive, keep it on a hard drive, keep it on your computer. So I've put mine actually in Dropbox, which is installed on my computer. And I have it, it's in Art 255, and I have a folder, Coffee Shop. Right now it's empty. And I'm going to put all of these pieces of my site in here. Okay, how do I get these pieces? I'm going to slice them and export them into my folder. So this is what I'm going to do. Now I don't want to bring this blue background. I guess I could, right? Because I'm going to build it with that color anyway. But best practice is I'm going to turn off the things that I'm not going to take with me. So as I look at my nav bar, I am not going to take the font. As I look at this, I'm not going to take the backgrounds, right? And now this is going to look different because of the blending mode that was applied to it. So to get a little bit more of that look, what I'm going to do is just lower the opacity a little bit. So I'm going to come to this, and I'm going to just lower the opacity a little bit. There we have it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to build this with HTML and CSS in particular. So I'm just going to turn that one off just because. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my slices. I'm going to slice these three things out. So you're going to find that your slices are going to be where your crop tool is. Now, in order to get this, you click on to this little triangle right there, and you grab the slice tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on in, and I'm going to slice around this image. I'm going to get some of the drop shadow too. Okay, and now I can see actually that what happens when you start to do this, it kind of builds it for yourself. So this one actually would get this. So I can see that I have, this is 3, this is 5. It built this space in as 1. It starts accounting for all the space. This line right here is 2. So I'm going to come on in and get this piece of paper here too. So I'm going to come on in and I'm going to build. I want to get the shadow and I'm going to move over. Beautiful. Okay, so I have a slice 3, slice 5, and slice 6. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want to make sure that it is where it needs to be. Now, in order to zoom, I'm using this guy. And you can zoom in, zoom out, just by how you kind of move your mouse. And you'll be able to get both. Now, what you could also do is hit Command plus, Command minus on the Mac. Okay. All right, and there's the keyboard shortcut also on the PC. On the PC, it would actually be the Option key. So on the Mac, it's the Command plus. On the PC, it's Option plus, Option minus. All right, so I am, from here, I'm going to come on in, I'm going to grab the Slice Select tool. So I can come up and say, you know, I want this to be up just a tiny little bit to capture this. Then I can use my up and down arrow too to move things down a little bit. Excellent. So I have this one all selected. I could bring this in a little bit if I wanted to. And I can see that, you know, this is just selecting this one. All right, I love the hand too. I'm going to grab the hand and I can move on down. I think that number 5 is selected well. That one's good by me. And then I have slice number 3. Now, I want to bring this up a little bit, so I'm going to grab my Slice Select tool and I am going to pull this guy up a little bit. All right, there we go. I clicked and I get this little arrow, just a tiny little bit, and there we go. I have it. So I have my 3 slices, number 3, number 5, number 6. These are the ones that I want to take in to build my website. So my next step is I come File, Export, and I'm going to go to Save for Web. Now, the story is that all of these have this checkerboard behind it. I want them to be transparent. So I need to save it as a JPEG. I need to save it as a PNG. A JPEG will automatically fill white around it. So when I look at this preview, I can see that there's white filled in. I don't want this. I can see that this is set at JPEG. I'm going to change this. I'm going to choose PNG 24. Excellent. Now, I am going to select the images that I want. So I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit so I can see all 3. And I'm going to hold down Shift. And I'm going to click, click. And again, I want to change this one also to a PNG. Let me do them separately. And I'm going to click onto this one. I also want to change this one to a PNG 24. Excellent. Did he change? Chose it at a different window. Okay, there we go. So I have all 3. So before I save them again, I need to click, make sure that each one is set at a PNG 24. Then I'm going to select all 3. So I'm going to click the first one. I'm going to hold down Shift, click the second one, still holding down Shift, click the third one. I can tell that all 3 of these are selected. And now I'm going to come on in and I'm going to hit Save. Okay. Now what I want to do is when I come to this window, I want to make sure that I am just taking the selected slices. Now, it's not a big deal if you take all the slices. You'll just have to clean it up because you'll have a slice for O1, a slice for O2. I'm going to put these into the folder that I created and I am going to hit Save. I'm going to hit Save. Once I get this little spinning rainbow finished. Okay, beautiful. Now what I want to do is I'm going to come on in and I am going to just take a look, make sure they're all there as I want them to be, check my coffee shop folder, and what Photoshop does is it automatically creates an images folder, and I click, I have my first image, which is my header. I have my second image, which I'm going to use in my nav, and I have my third image, which is the piece of paper. Now I've taken my color info. I know what my type info is. I'm using Georgia for my font. For my nav bar, my other type I'm using is Verdana, and I'm using that as my header. And I have my images. Now I am ready to move over to Dreamweaver. Thanks so much.